So now you're probably using a Sony sound system, either a soundbar or a home theater, and one of the speakers is not functioning. How do you troubleshoot that and get yourself to the root cause of the problem? It's very common with Sony speakers because most of the Sony sound system are wired. So for our case, let's assume this rear speaker is not functioning. What you have to do first is follow the wire for the surround speaker until where it gets plugged in to the back of this subwoofer or maybe the DVD of your home theater system. And for our case, it's the gray wire. So what you do is try and test this connection port for the rear speaker, the one that is not functioning. Try and insert it on either of the other ports that are remaining, not the subwoofer. Kindly try and avoid the subwoofer port, but all the other remaining mid-range speaker ports, insert it there and have a listen if it's working. If it is working, then it means you have an issue with the main port at the board where you plug the rear surround speaker or the speaker that is not functioning. The problem is at the board. But if you try putting it at any other port that was functioning for other speakers, and yet the one that is working is not yet also working in that port, what you do is now it means you have an issue with the wiring of this particular speaker that is not working. And in most case scenarios for Sony speakers or even wired speakers, problem arises at this particular junction we have over here. With time, the bending here results to a disconnection of the wire inside this covering part of the wire we have inside here. So in most case scenario, you'll have to cut away this part and then now you reconnect it directly to the speaker. So that's what normally happens. We normally have a loose joint developing right here. Again, if that does not work, you'll have to find a meter or take it to a repair. And if you have your meter at home with you, place the two probes of the meter right here in these two holes on the right and left, and then put the meter in continuity mode. When you hear beeping, it means there's a continuity to the speaker, and if the meter does not beep, it means there is a loose connection in between, or it's either the speaker is not functioning or this wire has a disconnection in between before you reach the speaker. And that's the same thing as what we have for the main bar right over here. This point is usually crucial, and with time it normally gets worn out and the wires cut themselves at this particular point. So that is it on how to solve that particular scenario if you find yourself in that junction. It's quite easy, and it's recommendable that you take good care of your speakers, especially these joints if you're using a Sony or just a wired surround speaker or even a home theater system setup. If that worked for you, leave a like for this video and don't forget to subscribe to this account. See you next time.